I have led a life really looking at European integration from very different perspectives, from different geographic, geopolitical, professional, cultural perspectives. I worked in Washington DC for Foreign Policy Magazin, but then again in Kosovo in a diplomatic startup team to make that place independent. And in the last years I spent my time commuting to North Rhine-Westphalia, working for a big German foundation. In all these years, I've been really most fascinated by the story of transformation that 1989 and 1991 triggered, and how societies cope with disruption and transformation, and how sometimes you see pockets of resilience and strength only emerging after some time. So I still understand that in Central and Eastern Europe is where a lot more collective experience on safeguarding EU values is there, and is these days being practiced in the streets, but also by a scenery that you can call civic tech. So there are civil society people who know very well why and how far they want to go in protecting EU values, for example, by using the power of the internet. So in other words, I think, and I have seen in a lot of practical work, that the condition of transition and the list of tasks that profound transition brings you ultimately helps you as a society find your value space and act on it. And contrary to what we often think, i.e. that Central and Eastern European countries are now behind and they will never become proper democracies or whatever, I think that they are still the avant-garde in really safeguarding hands-on the values of democracy and of European Union in times of challenge. We are here at the Peter Drucker Forum in Vienna, and if we imagine Peter Drucker would show up here and ask EU leaders his very famous first question, "You are in that business of sovereignty pooling, would you do that again?" Hell yeah! I mean, the value proposition of European Union is fantastic. If you think about it, if we had no cooperative, supranational governance, learning curve and entity in times like these, we'd have to invent it. But also, if this world today had no single superpower of norms and standards, we'd have to invent that. Most recent example of that aspect was the European Union Data Protection Regulation that many consider a crucial gift made in Europe to the world. So in times of big tech and automated decision-making mechanisms, the EU is delivering. And third point, if we had no entity standing up in unity on Brexit, on the Iran nuclear deal, but also on Russia sanctions, we'd have to invent that. The value proposition of European Union is so fantastic and resilient, and especially made for times of disruption, that in a world where a rules-based order is under attack from many sides, European Union with its cooperative, supranational and very, very strong base on the values and the rules of law, we'd have to invent that all over again. If Peter Drucker met EU leaders today, he would ask, "So you're in a business of sovereignty pooling that has proven very successful, and people now understand that as a governance entity you are irreversible." And he would ask, "What about your opportunities management?" And this is where Peter Drucker really insisted upon. He said every leader, every manager has to always put a lot of attention, of resources, of time into exploiting opportunities. For him it was absolutely clear that he or she also has to solve problems, but that's sort of not even worth talking about. Of course you have to solve problems. Main point for him was you have to exploit opportunities. And this is where I think European political life, but also our public administration in our nation states, but also on the EU level, has not been up to sort of standards, not up to the standards of Peter Drucker today. So in a way, managing and exploiting opportunities in our world of governance is still a task that's up for us and our next generations.